it's going to be interesting for a lot of people, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think
it's going to be very exciting and inspiring.
I hope so.
So hello, Wendy.
Hello, Yasa. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Yasa. I'm a violinist, and you know my story. If you don't, I moved from St. Petersburg, Russia to United States almost 10 years ago now. And in this pandemic, it just hit me that I have to start a channel to communicate with you guys. My mission is to bring awareness about different cultures. And here in this channel, I'm talking about Russia, United States, my first impressions of United States as a foreigner, and of course music because I'm a musician, of course poetry because I'm a poet, of course arts because I'm not an artist but I love art. And I'm inviting this couple of last days my dear friends to join me on this journey, and today I'm honored and beyond overjoyed to introduce you to my wonderful friend, a painter, a tremendous talent, Wendy. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Yasa.
It's so good to see you, my dear. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. And
Where
hello
are
to
you
everyone.
Today?
Where am I today? Yes, I'm here in Florida. We have a home in Pine Island, Florida. It's on the West Coast. So in my home art studio, writing studio, teaching studio. So
Wendy, I have to confess, you're one of the most inspiring people I know.
Wow.
You've reinvented yourself and your life so many times. You are a painter, you now a paralegal. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
You used to work at our conservatory, being the most welcoming person that people meet coming to conservatory at Lynn University. You tremendously talented writer, and now you produced a movie. Is that right? Am I missing something here?
Well, I guess
how can one person combine so many talents and do so much in life?
That's a very deep question. Really kind of an easy question in a way, because we just have to be ourselves. And in you have so many things we are capable of doing. And it's old fashioned, but I've learned to just do it, to just try that thing. I was invited to be a dock master at the local marina because Roland and I were taking a walk in one holiday a few years ago, and they offered us a job. And I've never really drove a boat. I've been fishing with my dad when I grew up, and suddenly they hired me to be a dock master of like 20 boats. And then I just started figuring it out, like step by step, taking notes, like music.
So is it true to say you follow the lead that life is giving you?
That's well said. I think so. Yeah, it's following the steps, step by step. I'm also born into music. My first voice was music. Before I could talk, I was playing music. So I think it's the way I organize my world and go with the flow, like following the musical notes. And life can be a song, and then I just follow the beats of our heart and listen to your heart. That really came in with the movie. So the movie has always been a dream since forever. Almost like when I was 19, when all this happened, which is a little while ago, I felt that the story, or I saw it almost as a movie, that when it was happening, like, this is surreal, this can't be true, what in the world? And I got through it and survived it, but I always saw it as a potential movie to share with the world. It just took all this time, and time is relative, to just say, let's do it now. And that's maybe a long answer to how the movie happened. But
I love long answers. My dear, so is it safe to say that any obstacle in life we can either take as a failure, as a missed opportunity, as a struggle, or we can take it as a blessing and learn from it and even turn it into something creative and inspiring?
I would say that's true. And I'm getting chills when we speak. And when I get chills, it means spirits or the angels' affirmation. When I say that's true. And I also actually say that almost every day. I have a new position at my job, and coworkers they're about your age, so I feel like they could be, we are family, or they could be my daughters. And the struggles that are going on, I often say, it's a blessing. Everything in life is a blessing. And this too, you'll see a young person in 20 years from now, and you'll know exactly what to say to help them. And at the moment, it may feel so dark, and we're crying, we're upset, but even those crying are jewels of joy. And the darkest period of maybe my life, which you'll see in this movie, and we're just beginning next stages, which is exciting, has turned into a beautiful emerald for the world to see. So, and I think it's possible to know in your heart when things go awry that it's going to be great one day for all and for you.
Wendy, my dear, is it how you choose to look at this pandemic that happened as well? That it's a blessing in disguise in some way?
Yes. This is one. I was in my 30s before I met Roland. I was working for a very famous rabbi, and I was his assistant in a world peace organization. Mm-hmm. And we worked with Henry Kissinger and the White House and the Clinton administration to help with world peace. And he was working with the Pope, and he told me one day, I think something was happening in my life. I came to work a little upset, a relationship went awry, crying. He said, everything in your life is a blessing, everything. So even this pandemic, dear Yasa, you're right on. I feel when I was a pause, I was in Hollywood when it happened. I was in Hollywood at the Walk of Fame, and then we were told to come home. And I was having breakfast at the Roosevelt Hotel. We just had another screening of the movie, and we won with a blessing with Matthew Carlton. We won an award, and he visited, but we were already sanitation and 6 feet apart. But I felt like when everyone was coming home, and thousands of students from all over the world were on that flight. They were in LAX. That was March 13th. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was almost surreal. It felt like a movie. And I thought this is going to be part of another movie, and it's a great blessing for the world. And I was so relaxed. I mean, I don't know, maybe because of what I went through and what you see in the movie, my early life was not comfortable, and weird things happened, and my life kind of got paused. The pandemic has been a blessing for me and for, I think, many, many people. In this pandemic, we finished the full script with a friend. So I finally got another great draft. It's finished last week. So it took actually 9 months, which is about the time you have a baby, I think. But it's
exactly a baby. What a symbol.
It's so true. And Roland and we've been painting, and I've been teaching children online. You maybe see the little children. I developed a little
I did.
show.
It's so beautiful. Wendy, for this episode, I would ask you to maybe send me a couple of pictures of your paintings.
Okay, I will.
I can also put them in this episode for people to see.
Thank you. I will. I'll be honored. Yeah, I was just painting all day.
I have to admit that I own a beautiful painting by Wendy, and I cherish it and treasure it, and it brings so much joy in my everyday life. Whenever I look at it, I just have a smile on my lips, and I wanted to thank you, Wendy, for that beautiful gift of friendship and art and joy that you brought to my life through this painting and just through being you.
Oh, thank you. And when I just a moment, I remember the first time we met at the conservatory, and you found out I teach the children at the homeless shelter. And you sat with me like the way you are now, just with your eyes right. We want to help you. That's what we're here to do, to go beyond what we're doing and teach children and courage. And then you heard my story, and you also was saying it's a blessing. So even then, you always inspire me too, Yasa, to keep going even more. And I love you, and I'm so proud of you. And look how much you've blossomed. It's extraordinary.
Thank you, Wendy. And I cherish memories that we had through our performances, through our concerts, when you were painting with us on the stage at the same time as we were performing, and when we were visiting our friends in the homeless shelter, and when we did performances together. Yes. Those memories that keep me going, and those memories that always keep me inspired. And anyways, before crying, let's talk a little bit about your beautiful movie. Exactly.
I put this is my ego, but I put the poster here. And
Wendy, how old were you when those events that you described in the movie happened? How old were you?
My age was 19 to 22. So it's over the 3-year period, although we're focusing on age 19 when the beginning of it. So,
and when did you actually wrote it down and created a beautiful book, Roses Are Blind?
Oh, thank you. I've been writing pretty daily since I'm 10 years old. So I wrote a Dear Diary. So even during that time, I had a journal. When I was, unfortunately, I was placed in the hospital, and in the hospital, I was writing what was happening. The actual writing of the movie, of the play, happened when I'm 33, was a year after my mom passed away. So I was working at a gallery in East Village, and they had a theater, and I met it's like a Forrest Gump life, like one thing led to another. And the art teacher was there, and also the theater teacher, and he invited me to be part of their playwriting group. So, a play. So I've never really written a play, because I went to school for visual arts and writing, but not playwriting. So I wrote a play, Roses Are Blind, for that theater in 1984. Well, no, 1987. It was a few years later. So. Wait, let me get the years correct. I'm sorry, just a moment. 1993, because those are the years I was in the East Village, and then I got invited to do the story. It took a while to have the courage to write down what happened, and especially as it involves my family, and I learned to forgive my family. I also wanted to make sure, in a way, my mom's passing, I didn't want her to be upset. So
I so understand it, Wendy. So just to clarify, you were 19 when the events took place, and you were around 30 something when you wrote the book?
Yes.
Okay, so it took 11 years to process it, right?
Yeah, yes, a little about that. Yes, around that, exactly.
And since that time, since you were 30, all this time you were contemplating the idea of putting it into the movie, right? Making it a movie. So it took another decade or more for this dream to come to fruition. I can imagine that you've been working at it in some ways every day, right?
Exactly.
Every people you met, every friends you made, every opportunity you had in life, in some way it was a door for that movie to come to fruition. Is that true?
That is correct.
And how does one never give up? Because it took so long from the initial events to writing a book to actually producing a movie and actually going to all the festivals that you're doing now. How does one doesn't give up and just knows that it's going to happen, even though it takes decades?
Yes, it did. I guess for me, it's in my heart. So the heart always beats, and Roses Are Blind is in my heart. And it always beats. Like when I'm sleeping, your heart is beating, and it's speaking to me of roses. It's a very interesting heart story that I never, ever stopped. So I never stopped, and talking about it and dreaming about it. And then when I meet a person in the arts, or like when I met you and Darren, and we were able to have a stage reading at Lynn, that became part of the movie somehow. Because there was a script, I could have all the cast, and you helped me so much for that support. And then it lifted it up, and then there was a pause again. And then the next level happened when we moved to Pine Island suddenly, and it was abrupt to move from East Coast to West Coast. Everything changed. I didn't have to see you at Lynn. We kept teaching, but the beautiful conservatory and the theater and all the support wasn't there physically. But again, when I came here, I looked at the lake and the beautiful dream of a house, and I was praying. I pray every day. And it came to me, I have to do Roses Are Blind now. And I proposed it to another actor and her husband, Guy. Would you like to produce my movie? Because they just finished film school in New York City, and they got all excited. So they said yes. So I guess, I don't know, it's like one step at a time. And then finally just being brave enough to say, I really want to do it now. And that now was 2017. And here we are in 2020. So that now is 3 years later to the next. It's really fascinating. I met a young friend, Mary Lou, who helps photograph our paintings here. So everyone in my life has become part of Roses. And she wrote a little book on positive thinking. And I told her about my screenplay, and she asked me to help her with her movie, which was an iPhone movie. I did that with her 3 years ago. And then she said something very profound to me. She said, we just have to do it. What are you waiting for until you're 80? And I forgot like how old I am. So I said, no, I don't want to wait till I'm 80.
Wendy, those words are just golden. I feel the same. A lot of people have talents in this or that area, but they have that fear as well that prevents them from actually doing something, right? And
just do it.
I feel that there is only choice, either do it or don't do it, right? Because it's never going to be perfect. So the choice is easy. Either do it or don't do it.
Yes.
So if you really want to do it, that's it. Just go for it. And it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be sincere. What's sincere really speaks to people and really relatable. And because we all experience the same life, right? We experience it in different ways, but life is a universal concept. So
well said.
That's a way for us to relate through our own unique experiences. Wendy, this stage that you are right now, as I understand, is it almost ready to produce a full movie, a full?
Yes, we are ready.
We call it. We have a short and then full.
Yes, and we had the short and regarding perfection, by the way, I teach little Ada as one of my little students. I met her when she was 3. I met her and she was crying about the plant didn't come out right in the painting. I said, what's wrong, Ada? And she said, it's not perfect. And I work with her every week, and now she's 7. And I say, there's nothing perfect in art. Don't worry about being perfect. I think that really stops us. And so that also helped with the movie, where I had a reunion weekend, the short film, and I was going to Barnard, my college, and Guy and Christina were available. And Mary Lou encouraged us, said, just do it. We'll just do it, and it will make it happen. And it was sometimes rough, and we had to redo. But I agree with you. I think it makes it very human.
Asian philosophy teaches us when they create work of art, they leave little piece of the artwork unfinished. And this is a symbol that's supposed to symbolize that nothing is perfect in life, and that is a beauty in itself. So we actually contemplating unfinished work of art, and there is a great comfort in it.
That's well said.
Wendy, I also feel that in artistic lives of people like you and me and all the artists, people that we encounter in life, it's like pieces of the puzzle. And
exactly.
For each of us, we all fall into places at certain time, at certain projects, at certain season of life when it needs to be. And
that's well said.
When it all comes together, great work of art surface.
I'm getting chills again. I mean, with Roses and with all the stages, exactly the person who appeared, they just would appear, and the next thing would happen. And it's been magical. Even to this moment.
My mom, a couple of days ago, when I told her that I'm making an episode with you, by the way, she's saying hello.
Oh, hi, Mom.
She loves the fact that you're wearing the scarf that she brought you from Russia. And she just loves that. She always notices, always. And she's sending you big, big hugs. And she was asking if there is a way for her to see the movie.
Yes, there's a way. I will have to have it for her eyes only right now, because that's a lot of my very close friends have. There will be a way. I'll find a way. I have it in film festivals right now, so it's like private screenings, and then hope then to have already received a distribution contract at the first festival. So there is someone waiting to distribute to the whole world. But we're waiting for the next, which is now. The next is now, with the full script just finished last week. And then a producer is waiting for the script. And it's been, like, again, I said, patience. And we want to make sure when I give it to you, again, I had to remember in my heart, this is very important what you're saying. It's not perfect. And there's going to be things that everyone's going to say, hey, can you do it this way? And a lot of the scenes I wrote, and I've written it maybe 25, 30 times, are on the cutting room floor right now. They're just, we'll make it work for the movie. It's going to be beautiful.
Wendy, it's incredible. The life that you've been living for the past couple of years, it's such a dream. From meeting your friends, from contemplating on the idea of making movies and arranging everyone and connecting everyone and finally producing the movie, how does one go about going to all those festivals that you guys went? Is it your own effort to connect to all those festivals?
It is. It is. There on it. One step led to another, and even the investment of money, which maybe you say, well, Wendy, how can she fly this weekend to New York, next weekend to LA, which, as you know, I've been working, well, I don't know if you know, but I've been working since I'm 10 years old, and grandma taught me how to type when I was 3. So I've always been working, and maybe Roland might say, hey, that's going to be a little expensive. And I just said, I'm just going to have to do it. We'll do it. The money will come in and I'll work some more. So all the people I met along the way, they would see the movie and I'd meet someone lovely. And they said, I'd like to invite you to be in my festival. And I never anticipated that I would get invited. And then they invited me. I have to show up. And I live that way. I think Woody Allen just said 90% of life is just showing up. So then I would ask for a day off at my new job, and then I'd go on a night flight all night and arrive to the festival in the morning with the poster, Roland helped with this. He'd add a laurel. It's a beautiful thing as we got in.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, each of the little laurels are.
Roland is Wendy's husband, a tremendous painter as well.
Thank you. Yeah, he's wonderful. And even the poster. So everything the poster is going to cost money and the trip will cost money and how am I going to eat? But I just wanted to do it anyway. And I figured it again, what am I waiting for? And I'll do it now.
Exactly. There is only one way of living a dream life, just living it, right? And creating it for yourself, your dream life.
Correct. And even in Hollywood, there was right at the last thing was the China Palace and right by the Hall of Fame. And again, we were able to get another person I met in a festival invited me to be her roommate at the Paramount Hotel. Very fancy. So suddenly I was in the hotel and I somehow could afford it. I mean, just didn't even worry about it. And then Roland always jokes when I'm in a table of people, which is our young friends. I said, oh, put your money away. I got this. So I was so happy that, let's say, if you could arrive, I would definitely take care of you being here. Something happened, this big generosity spirit that I have even got bigger. And I think then the universe supported it. And when it went on pause, then we were about to go to Cannes. We got into France, and I was invited to go to London in April from my college. And so I feel that wasn't meant to be right now, because of maybe waiting for the full script. Mm-hmm. That would be, if I was there then, I don't know what would happen. But they would say, can I see your script? And I say, well, I'm not ready yet. So, But now I'm more ready. So,
Wendy, I feel like personality is a big part of success of a lot of people. I truly feel that about you and about certain friends that we have in common.
Yes.
I feel like the more generous person is with their time, spirit, kindness of their heart, the more they give it, the more they get in return, don't you think?
I feel that way.
We're not thinking about it in any calculating terms, right? We're not doing it on purpose, but it definitely true, because abundance of love that you receive comes from you being such a generous and warm-hearted person.
Thank you. And it is that time, even when a new coworker is struggling. And she said to me, well, thank you for listening to me, for sharing these. She was calculating the minutes, which I'm not that conscious of, being in a legal world. Like everything is timed by the minute in the law office. But I was just listening. She said, oh, you're so kind to listen to me, and it changed her life. That I took a moment. I'm like, wait, what? This is just who I am, what I do. I will
exactly.
listen.
We are so busy. Just take a moment to listen to someone who wants to talk, right? It's
Exactly.
that simple, and it gives so much joy to people that we don't even realize.
But so something amazing happened with that listening, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you. It happened in an audience, because last year at this time in October, I went to Orlando, and I was involved with I was up for a competition on how to do an elevator pitch on the movie. Let's say I'm riding an elevator with you, and we only have like 2 seconds to say, hey, what's your movie about? So I was always a little nervous, and how can I say this? Let's say you're a famous movie producer, Steven Spielberg, and you could fund my movie. And I had a coaching session with very famous people on the table. Like, they couldn't believe, first of all, it was a true story, and they advised me how to speak and on this movie. And nothing really seriously said, make believe you're talking to your best friend. You're having a talk. I'm calling Yasa on the phone. And I'm just talking, how are you, darling? How was your day? How are you feeling? And so from that moment on, and I went into an audience in Chelsea, and it was February this year, the pandemic. And friends from high school came, and the friends from Guy and Christina, we had 400 people in the audience. And I can't imagine a year before that I could have done this, but I was on stage, and the audience was asking me very personal questions. But I was so relaxed. And they started sharing their life, and it became this group phenomena just by listening to them and then helping them. I was helping them by, I guess, sharing my story, and then they shared their story, and it gave them, I don't know, something changed that night. It was really beautiful. It gave them hope. It was just a very special experience.
It's beautiful, Wendy. I can so relate to this, because you not only help them, but in a way you help yourself by telling that story too. It's a way of therapy as well.
Yes.
And I feel the same about making those episodes, because all I'm doing is just talking to friends. Even though if I'm just doing a solo episode, I'm still talking to friends on the other part of the screen. And it's really helping. I hope it helps someone to spend their time in a little bit more.
It will be the most
in a little bit more inspiring way, but I'm also helping myself just by working through those issues and putting my thoughts into words, and just bringing out the joy and of living, basically. Yes. Because I feel like we forget that living is all about joy, and every morning when we wake up, it's just a joy to be alive.
It's a miracle to be alive, and
if not, if at least something hurts, right? But at least if you're not in crucial pain, there is so much to be thankful for.
Even the most painful things, or in the middle of something that's what perceives to be dark, is really something to be thankful for. Like I was listening to a Japanese gazillionaire, and he had a session on TV, on YouTube, about how he became so successful. And he said it's arigato in Japanese. He thanks everyone in every moment. Like if he's giving money, he says arigato. If he receives money, arigato. So it's even grateful for the yucky experiences that happened, for the things that are wonky. And we could turn it into something like beautiful, write a story, a play, and people could relate to a piece of music. And even the music that comes in, that's what people hear and they get affected by, and it reaches their heart.
It's so true. I truly believe that best poetry and best creative projects I've done in the darkest moments.
Well said.
So darkest moments could be a great inspiration, and how we deal with the darkness in our life through art. That's such a great way to deal with that, such a great therapy.
I think I've shared with you, and it's a dark side of the moon, when I have gone through that myself. And I knew that part of my life is what you could say, But I think it's a great blessing because the dark side of the moon then turned to show the light side of the moon. And then it became, that's what life's about. And to encourage others to keep going, to keep waking up, keep trying things. And even at the marina, the boss said, the captain, he's a Coast Guard captain. He wrote me an email yesterday. He said, make mistakes, keep making mistakes, and keep living life, keep trying, and thank God for all the mistakes. It was the best message.
It is. It's truly comforting.
It means you just keep trying things.
Truly comforting to be allowed finally to make mistakes, right? Yes. Knowing that we don't have to be perfect.
Oh.
We are allowed to be not perfect.
We're not allowed to not know how to do this thing.
We are allowed to be humans again. That is so comforting.
Yes, and also though, I just want to share with the movie, because it is from my heart, and because it's the dream, I never settled for second best in quality. Like if Guy would say, well, we have a cinematographer and he's using the Hollywood Red camera, but it would cost you $5,000 to do his cinematography. And most people will go, I just said yes. And so then I kept working my day jobs, and it would pay it off as the year went by. And then the quality that you would see in Roses Are Blind is what the audience sees. And the actors you see, I paid them whatever they wanted, even though, one day when there's a real big movie, I think there'll be a budget, I hope so, to pay for people. But I still will make sure everyone's taken care of. And then we got really good quality. So it's a combination of not settling for second best and just investing in the dreams of your heart and really like going for it. And I'd rather...
Well, I truly hope I can be a help in this too and be a part of the musical team.
I would love you to be.
Wendy, what are your New Year's resolutions for this 2021?
Gosh, I'm not one to make resolutions. I'm just really, because every day is so full. So I guess I will continue, I shouldn't say guess, I know I will continue to live life to the fullest and continue to love and appreciate the moments. And it really comes from this experience of Roses Are Blind, to know that how precious every new day is in my life, because at that time in my life, I probably, with all the angels, I was meant to be here, but there's so many blockades. So to me now, every moment is precious. So as far as a new year, just happy for this new day.
Wendy, could you please give us that elevator speech? What is your movie about?
That's good. Okay, I'll make believe I'm talking to my best friend, which is...
Which is easy now, right? Because you're talking to me.
Well, okay, Roses Are Blind is about a young woman, and in this case, it's about my true life story. When I inadvertently, if I was talking to someone else, it would be different, but when I inadvertently discovered the family secret by going to a famous psychic that a roommate from college recommended. And I discovered the family secret that I was born a triplet, not a twin. And when I uncovered that to the family, they had this very serious dark reaction. And that's really what the story will share. I hope that shares it more. The story is sad and because it shows the dark side of a family and the revelation of things, even hidden things. But this is less of the elevator pitch, but
yes,
the pitch is the first part.
Very intriguing and very captivating. I hope we all will be able to see it in probably a couple of years, right? Because it will take time to produce a full meter. But again, congratulations on your short and on living your dream life. And hopefully we have many, many more projects to come. I really miss performing with you, my dear. We need to do it again.
Yes, I miss
us playing, and maybe you can do another painting.
Yes, I would love to.
That would be so great.
Yeah, we could do that again.
Wendy is a very special artist because she paints fast. She paints fast, and you can actually witness the process, and it's fascinating in itself just to see how she works. It's a dance in itself. It's an art project in itself, and just to see how her works created such a profound experience. I hope we can do it again.
I paint to music, and so I get into a rhythm, and by painting with you. Thank
Yes,
you.
you are. Wendy, thank you so much for this episode. I think you inspired us to just write down our stories, to be brave to produce our movies, to feel that everyone around us is a part of something bigger and greater, what we've been called for here in this life. And if we only brave and if we only start doing it, we can create a movie out of our life, even if it's
Yes.
not a happy one, even if it's full of struggles and tribulations.
Yes, and that's what this is about. It's not really the happiest one to show, but there is a happy ending. I survived it all, and I want to give hope to those that you too can survive anything. So we have to share our stories, no matter what they are, because everyone has a story to tell.
Thank you for this message, Wendy. I love you, my dear. Happy New Year. And I hope our listeners will also like and subscribe, and we'll see you again very soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Hi, Yasa. Hi, everyone. It was great to share a little bit about my world on the movie Roses Are Blind. And here we go. I'm going to share with you paintings that I love to do for you, for the children, for the world. God bless you and have a happy, happy New Year.